The following is a fan-based discussion. All properties discussed are property of Toei Inc., Bandai, Hasbro, and Subaru Productions.
Time and time again.
Again.
Whew, whew. That's the sound that the alarm makes. That's the sound of the police.
That's the sound of the police.
That's the name of a console. Wii U.
Oh.
Okay.
Good
I
job.
do what I must because I can.
I do what I must because I can.
So this time, we have Timeranger, Dekaranger, Patranger.
Mm-hmm.
Cops.
Yes, we're doing the cops.
Gotchos.
So, where are we starting?
Timeranger.
Okay.
We're going to one that starts first because we're going in chronological time order.
Hmm.
Time.
What
Be
is
on the
it?
future. Anyway, Timeranger. How well did this one incorporate the cop theme into itself?
We did a decent job, but not as good as the other two.
I would disagree. I think it actually did it fairly well. They were sent back to arrest someone and bring them back to the, their present.
They're time police.
Yeah, they're time police.
They're time police, yes, but we don't get the sense. All we get is the chasing and the capturing, and whereas the other two, we get much more of the entire idea of what being a cop is. There's investigation, interrogation.
They do have to do it a couple times.
But I'm saying I'm saying it did good, just not as good as the other two. Primarily Dekaranger, who I think did it best.
We'll get to them.
We'll get to them. Because I agree.
Yeah, Timeranger, I think it did it fairly well. I mean, they had a lot of the police things. Like, this is what the police is known for. They had this badge.
This is essentially. This is gonna sound like an insult, but it's not. This is what people think being a police officer is because they watched Cops growing up. It's always tracking down the bad guy, arresting the bad guy.
It's only the action part. There's no paperwork.
There's no, which is one of the reasons why I love fucking Hot Fuzz, which not only brings that up but makes it fucking funny.
That's a great movie.
The fucking miniature town. Comedy.
That whole movie.
That movie's,
Comedy.
Yeah.
Anyway, my point is that it's what normal people think being a cop is.
Yeah, especially because of the fact that pretty much the whole time they're there, they're undercover. Go ahead.
What?
You're about to say something.
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, they're undercover. They had to get, their own jobs. They really can't get in contact with anyone because they're time police. They're not regular police. They are time police.
No.
And they have to really incorporate that into what they're doing. So they need a cover for why they're actually, there.
Mm-hmm.
And I do appreciate a lot of the things that they did to that extent.
Mm-hmm.
I think Timeranger did it well, but of course, there are ones that came after that did it better. And the one that did it the best is Dekaranger.
I think because Patranger, which I'll say that thought until we get to Patranger. Dekaranger had a bit of everything that incorporates being a police officer.
Yes.
You have the fact that there is no single villain to arrest. You don't get to arrest this one guy and then
Crime's over.
Yeah, job's done.
We've solved all of crime forever.
I get to retire.
I get to retire and do nothing for the rest of my life. Crime is solved forever. All of it.
But then you get things like investigation, interrogation, even though they have a shortcut for the interrogation part.
At least they had the whole court process. The court process is still there, which is an integral part of being a policeman.
Of being a Dekaranger.
Yeah.
In this
universe.
No,
just being a policeman in general. It's a part of criminal justice.
But the difference is Dekaranger does it in seconds, whereas
technically
other dimensions,
time space stuff,
alternate dimensions, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey bullshit.
They do a lot of the things that you would see in some police procedurals because Dekaranger is a Super Sentai police procedural,
Mm-hmm.
they do stakeouts.
They do.
Which is interesting.
They do stakeouts. They do undercover missions.
They explain...
They do sting operations.
Like, they did only, like, really 1 or 2 stakeout episodes, but one of the things that they really explained to that, people think about stakeouts like a movie or something, because of the way that it's set up there, it's like they have to do it in a certain amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
And stakeouts, especially in the one episode where...
There are people who are on stakeouts for weeks.
Yeah, and they show that here. They show, like, there are empty food cartons around. They've been there for days. It's like, these things take time, and they actively did it in this episode. I think they did it just exponentially well here.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
you don't see much. I don't think you see much of paperwork either.
No.
Well, the paperwork's done a little digitally here.
Fair.
Yeah, they got computers.
I'm a computer.
And Computer Boys and Girls.
Yeah, that's what they have doing
They
it.
have computer voice and guns.
That's what they have doing
it. There you go.
But no, actually, I think that's not
Guilty.
an apt comparison, because they do have an entire staff
Yes.
who probably handles a lot of this stuff.
Yep.
They probably streamlined it so these people could constantly be actually out there doing work.
And they're probably really jealous of the Dekarangers.
Yeah, Dekaranger just does it so and here's the thing with this show. They show that there are different levels and special factions and parts of the organization
And
that
SWAT
actually go out.
teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, SWAT teams that actually go out and do these things. So you have Deca Bright,
Mm-hmm.
who was a part of like an elite unit. And then you have them getting their SWAT power up. And then at the end of it, Bond goes and graduates to Fire Squad.
Mm-hmm.
He gets a battleizer. But it's like, it's not just them staying at the same level.
There's
Right.
promotions.
Yeah,
and
there are
possible
promotions.
And this was
Almost
also...
like it's an actual police force or something.
And I think this was
What?
translated into Power Rangers SPD also very well.
I agree.
Not as good, but still, in terms of cops, they had still focused more on the action.
Yeah, because
it's
in that show, they arrested one person and crime is over.
But that's the audience. That's the difference in the audience that they are marketing towards versus in Japan versus America.
And
Because Americans have much more of an attention span problem.
SBS has issues, but
Cal explosions.
we're not even talking about that. But here, I think the thing they did the best here, and the way that they showed this is much more of a police procedural here, is the fact that the villain is an arms dealer.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the main guy. This show is pretty much Monster of the Week heavy, but it's sort of given that Agent Abrera is always there funding these people over top of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the fact that it wasn't just one main
We solve
guy.
crime.
Yeah.
It's a cop procedural.
Yeah, it's like, it's not one main guy who's the bad guy here. It's
Mm.
a whole bunch of other people. It's just the fact that they have an arms dealer or a benefactor in some cases who does so much of things at the top. I love that about this show, and I think that's why I like the way that this show approaches it just so much better. Because you know at the end of the day, somebody's going to come in and take Agent Umbrera's spot.
Mm.
Crime's not over because one person got arrested.
Now,
Or blown up in this case.
But one thing I like about, and I'm using this as a transition, whereas they didn't have that problem in Patranger, because Patranger was a specific specialist squad to take on the Gangler and the Lupin Rangers in this case as well. They had a specific job that they were told that this is your specialty. When this is done,
You go back and do other police work.
you go back to being regular police officers. It's gonna be much more boring. God knows, I'd probably try to retire after that because Jesus. But they kind of found the way around that to kind of give us the best of both worlds, which I like from a writing perspective. That's great. But in terms of a perspective of, is this a cop show? It's a task force,
Yeah.
which does happen in the cop world a lot.
Does this mean we've officially changed over to Patranger?
Yes.
I said this, I'm trying to use this as a transition.
Yeah.
Did you have more to say about Dekaranger?
Nope.
Okay.
I think
See-
we've said everything it needs to
So Patranger was less about police and more about a task force in the police department being asked to take on this specific task, which I think is great. And I definitely get more of the feel of this is an actual police work because they have, we can.
They actually do paperwork.
They actually do paperwork. God knows the report they're going to have to write about. So Green became a woman today.
say.
I would love to read that report.
13 people were killed when a building collapsed on them.
No, it's the abandoned warehouse district. Remember?
No.
I just want a show about the insurance team that has to deal with the mess that a Sentai
Oh,
I'm
God, that'd be
sorry.
terrible.
How much does my insurance cost? A mecha policy? Why would I need that?
You got it!
I work in insurance. It happens.
Got it!
That's so accurate. Picture that being in Dekaranger. Remember the first episode when the robot is hiding behind a building?
Yeah.
I do give it. I love in one of the Versus movies, we get kind of a feel of this other end when it was Gaim versus Tokyuger.
Yeah.
What do you mean there's a giant robot in the city? What the fuck are you talking about?
Turns around.
Nothing.
No imagination.
Because he has no imagination.
But yeah, it's like with Patranger.
He's the leader of a multi-million-dollar company who is dealing with supernatural monsters, but he has no imagination.
It's still funny.
He looks at it extremely practically.
But with Patranger, it's like, there are some things that they do a little, I'm not going to say better. Because really the main thing there is like, the fact that you actually see them doing paperwork. And from my time doing ride-alongs with police officers, yeah.
A lot of paperwork.
Yeah, there's a lot of paperwork. I went and saw these.
I don't think we ever talked about that. He's done ride-alongs with police officers.
Yeah.
He is our resident expert on this.
He would be.
And I was also a criminology major for a year, so I got some insight as well.
But it's like with Patranger, they do some undercover work.
But it's always towards the same goal.
Yeah.
So that's why I use the term task force. Because it is a group of cops who are put together to the sole purpose of accomplishing one goal. Which is what this is. Which is what you could argue that is what the Timerangers were.
Yeah.
But this one kind of drove it more home of this is what it is.
Yeah.
So I think Patranger gave us a great viewpoint of a different side of police work, but I think Dekaranger still gave us the best overall picture.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's just like, it's
now, if Dekaranger had paperwork, this wouldn't be a discussion.
Yeah, Dekarangers just like, all right, I win, but...
And by the way, anybody who's not seen Hot Fuzz, fix that.
Actually...
Right. Point Break, Bad Boys 2. Which one would I prefer? No, which one do you want to watch first?
Bad Boys 3 comes out next year.
I'm excited.
That movie does look good.
I'm excited.
But why do I feel like I'm misremembering some of the things?
Fascist.
Hag.
Everything came back.
I feel like I'm misremembering some of the paperwork scenes they did. They actually did. I remember them doing it because Doggy had to do it sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Doggy, or Swan, or Jasmine occasionally had to do the paperwork. What?
Does Doggy have thumbs?
Yes.
Okay.
He has to hold the sword.
Doesn't mean that this... First of all, if the suit can make his nose disappear, it can give him an extra
They're not
finger.
just going to give him an appendage.
They made one disappear.
A nose isn't an appendage.
Might as well be how big it is.
Who's he, Gavin?
Yes.
All right. But he has thumbs. He can hold...
I was also just picturing a dog in general trying to write.
Are you trying to picture like Ruby with a pen, just like...
But yeah.
Lincoln would just eat the paper.
Dekaranger just does it the best.
Would and has.
Dekaranger just does it the best.
Dekaranger did it the best.
It's like there's no contest about that. But you bring up an interesting point that you brought up in the last one. Who integrated the police theme into their suits the best?
Definitely not Timeranger.
It's got to be Patranger. When we think of police officer here on Earth,
Because the hat.
It's the hat, it's the tie.
Not every police officer wears a tie.
Detectives do. A lot of them do.
Yeah, but
This is what you wear around the office.
I just don't like the suits.
I do.
No, but I see what you're saying. That is one aspect. But Patranger definitely does integrate what is stereotypically a police officer. But I would like to point out that the Dekaranger is very much set in the future.
It's science fiction.
It's definitely more science fiction.
I was actually going to...
Because I also like... Dekaranger incorporates the sirens.
Yeah.
Which is also a plus.
I was actually going to end up saying it's Dekaranger.
Because of the sirens?
No, because of the fact that it's a little bit more uniform, or rather militaristic, in the way that it does it, with the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 100, all just right here to designate the rank. And especially when it's coming to the SWAT gear, it's armored. It's a Kevlar
vest.
They have heavier weapons.
It's a Kevlar vest and a mic. I get that. I think it's honestly a toss-up, because then I can also counteract with Patrangers have actual police badges, like literal police shields, which in their visor, which we don't see a lot, and that is a staple of police officer uniform, or the badge is the shield. So I think it's honestly a toss-up of what kind of police officer look are you going for?
Yeah.
I think that I'll put it this way. Patranger has the fashion of a police officer more integrated. Dekaranger has the function more integrated. Sirens, Kevlar, things like that.
But the Patranger ones are still great. I love their suits.
I don't like the tie.
I just love the whole thing.
I like it.
It's cool. I would also like to point out that the Dekaranger arsenal, their melee weapons are batons, which are non-lethal weapons, which is...
They have batons. The speakerphones turn to a baton.
Valid. I did forget about those.
But
their main weapon is still a giant fucking pistol.
That is true. You get a big-ass gun.
That's like saying, welcome to the police force. Here's a Desert Eagle.
I mean, to be fair, that's much more of an American view on this.
Yeah.
So...
Or retro, because police officers used to have, like, fucking magnums. They used to be packing.
Magnum dog.
But now we have Glocks.
But yeah. I just love how I ended everything.
Yep.
Yes, because you
suck.
dogs.
Let us know what you think in the comments down below.
Also, this is just a random thing.
What?
Dekaranger does one other thing better. They have a dog. And weirdly enough, when you think of like drug dogs and things like that,
they have canine unit.
They have a canine unit.
That's a valid... No, honestly, it's a valid point.
And their leader is a dog.
I'm so glad you pointed that out. I never would have known.
We still have another video.
Are we also going to... I thought of another Hot Fuzz connection.
What?
They've got Deca Swan. Hot Fuzz had the goose. There you go.
But yeah.
Untitled Goose Game.
Untitled Goose Game.
Coming to PS4.
DLC. Hot Fuzz.
And Muppets, apparently.
But let us know what you think about these three in the comments
You didn't see that video. Never mind.
Let us know what you think about these three in the comments below. We really didn't talk about Timeranger that much, but that's because it's the loosest of the three.
Yeah.
It really is.
To the other. I mean, yes, there's still a time.
I honestly, when it was brought up to do this, and I said, "What's the thing?" When they said Timeranger, and I literally went, "Oh yeah, they were cops." Because
although to be fair, they also do have their own team in the future.
Valid.
Who one of them tried to kill them later, but you know,
Yeah.
Let
Just
us
another
know.
day at the office for Super Sentai.
Let us know what you think about these three in the comments below.
Let us what you know what you think. Oh God!
Nope.
Let us know who you think integrated police in the vest.
Let us know what you think of Hot Fuzz.
That too.
Go watch it. It's a great movie.
Speaking of cops,
What?
Drive. We're gonna say this now. The Drive review is not gonna happen until the 5th
Of January.
Yes. Because we want to have the new year for one, and two, it's a whole month.
We're doing a month of Drive.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot to do with Drive.
And we can have a whole month dedicated to it, so that'll be the whole first month of the year will be Kamen Rider Drive.
Woo! But as always, let us know what you think in the comments down below, and follow us on all of the things. If you have any more ideas for time and time again, because I'm pretty sure we're done at this point.
We're done.
I'm
sad.
Yeah, me too.
I like this series a lot.
Yes, and not just Sentai, but for Power Rangers, for Kamen Rider, for Garo, whatever. Ultraman.
Put suggestions in the comments. But as always, we will see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.